Hi students, please make sure to watch this video all the way to the end, as it will help us recap the key lessons we've covered over the past few weeks. Since many of our review classes were missed due to the Thai practical exams, I've prepared this video for you to watch at home. It's designed to remind you of some of the most important topics we've learned together. Teacher Etta. What have we learned? Let's start Unit 1. Was about out into the world, and we learned about the following. Travel safety advice, conjunctions of time plus gerunds, polite indirect questions, writing narratives with adjectives. In Unit 2, we were talking about the world of work, skills and characteristics for jobs, prepositional verbs, would for opinions, advantage and disadvantage essays. Then a Unit 3 Lesson 1. We started looking at the advantages of lifelong learning and how that can shape your future. Skills after graduation, simple, compound and complex sentences. Why people keep learning. Key lifelong learning vocabulary. Unit 1 was all about out into the world. Unit 1. The big picture, we learned how to stay safe while traveling, use hotel language politely, and tell interesting stories about trips. Students practiced conjunctions of time with gerunds, polite indirect questions, and writing narratives full of strong adjectives. First was about speaking. Travel safety advice, hotel requests, telling trip stories, and so on. Then came reading, travel insurance tips, interesting trip narratives. Next was writing, narratives using strong adjectives to make stories more interesting. And finally, our favorite, grammar, conjunctions of time like before or when and after, plus gerunds. We learned about polite indirect questions. Key vocabulary, all about travel safety. When traveling to countries you're not familiar with, it's important to do some research beforehand to better understand the culture, customs, and expectations. Here are some of the topics we covered. First one, spot, a particular place or location. When going to a tourist spot, look after your stuff. Next one was all about a safe, not in danger, secure. Leave your valuables in the hotel safe. Then important advice was about snatching, to grab something quickly and steal it. Someone might snatch your bag or jewelry. Next up were our credit cards, plastic card used to pay for things. Most places don't accept credit cards. We also looked at the currency's country's use. The money used in a specific country. Bring cash with you when you travel, and preferably local currency. Then pick up, to collect or get something. Pick up a map from the tourist office. The very important was about being discreet. Careful not to attract attention. Be discreet with your valuables. Key vocabulary, hotel and travel language, what we have learned when we travel. Dry cleaning, cleaning clothes with chemicals, not water. There's a dry cleaner just down the road. Complimentary, free of charge. Are the drinks in the room complimentary? Iron, tool for making clothes smooth. Could you tell me if you have a thing for pressing a shirt? Then the receptionist replied, do you mean an iron? Swipe, to pass a card through a machine. We swiped your card when you checked in. Very important, uppercase and lowercase. Capital letters and small letters. Remember, this question's in our books. The Wi-Fi password is all lowercase. Next was operate, to use or control a machine. Could you tell me how to operate the remote control? And also about a remote control. Device used to control TV and AC from a distance. I can't get the AC to work. How do I operate the remote control? Conjunctions of time plus gerunds. Remember the meaning. A gerund is a verb form ending in ing that functions as a noun in a sentence. We use before and when and after plus ing form to talk about the timing of two actions. Easy description. Before plus, ing do this first, and when plusing at the same time, and after plus, ing she do this next. Example. Before diving into the hotel pool, check how deep the water is. Before leaving home, do some research. That was the first action when traveling. Watch out for thieves. At the same time, so be careful after arriving. At your destination, use an ATM. That was the second action when going sightseeing. Leave valuables in the safe. Book example, and it always very important. Polite, indirect questions, we use these to ask questions more politely, especially with strangers like hotel staff, etc. Here is a few examples. Could you tell me? Could you tell me where the mailbox is? Do you know if the drinks are complimentary? I was wondering where the remote control is. Would you mind telling me? Would you mind telling me if you have a taxi service? Conversation skill tip. If you don't know the word, describe it. A thing for pressing a shirt, then they will know iron. Next up was Unit 2, all about the world of work. Unit 2, the big picture. We explored skills and personality traits needed for different jobs, practiced giving opinions with Wood, and learned how to write advantage-disadvantage essays about careers. In Lesson 1, we covered skills and characteristics for jobs, prepositional verbs like talk to, work with, and so on. Reading about important job skills. Lesson 2 was more about opinions about future jobs. We used would and would like and would be. Conversation skill was about how to changing the topic. Lesson 3 was about pros and cons of jobs. Advantage and disadvantage essays. Writing skill. Balanced essays. Remember to use this when you write your essay for teacher Etta. Unit 2. Key vocabulary. Was all about job skills and characteristics, what we have learned. Number 1 was about being confident. Feeling sure of yourself. I'm confident and good at public speaking. Next was about a receptionist and their responsibilities. Person who greets visitors at a desk. I'd like to be a receptionist. Then all about an architect. Person who designs buildings. I want to be an architect or an accountant. We were talking about being adaptable, able to change easily for new situations. Engineers need to be adaptable. Another important topic was being patient, able to wait calmly without getting angry. Teachers need to be patient. Next was about an accountant, person who manages money and taxes. Hannah wrote an essay about being an accountant. Then important to be organized, good at planning and arranging things. I'm pretty organized, but not confident enough. Key vocabulary and even more jobs we studied here is just a few. Lawyer. Person who helps people with the law. Would you like to be a lawyer? Mechanic. Person who repairs cars or machines. I think it would be fun to be a mechanic. Electrician. Person who works with electricity, jobs discussed. Electrician, mechanic counselor. Person who gives advice or helps with problems. Would he be a good counselor? Software developer. Person who creates computer programs. I'd love to be a software developer. Surgeon. Doctor who performs operations. I'm thinking of becoming a surgeon. In Unit 2, we also looked at prepositional verbs, a verb plus preposition that go together as a unit. Examples: talk to, work with, think of, and so on. The preposition is fixed. Let teacher Etta remind you about a few. Talk to. Nurses have to talk to people clearly and politely. Work with. Soccer players work with other players and coaches. Think of. Vloggers have to think of lots of creative ideas. Adapt to. Police officers have to adapt to lots of different situations. Know about. Teachers should know about their students' needs. Speak with. Police officers need to be able to speak with people politely. In Unit 2, we were also talking about would for opinions and preferences. Easy description. We use would to talk about imaginary or future preferences and to ask for opinions politely. Would you like to be a software developer? I'd love to, or I wouldn't enjoy it. Would you like to be a lawyer? Maybe. I think it'd be interesting. I wouldn't enjoy learning how to fix cars. Negative preference. Do you think you'd be a good software developer? Yes, I do. I'm creative and good at problem solving. I'd love to work on computers. Strong positive preference.